Hello, my name is Bhavik and I am representing team number 60. Our project topic is GUI implementation of operating systems topic, concurrency and deadlock. Here we are representing GUI implementation of 5 algorithms or methods which were initiated to avoid inconsistency in data due to concurrent access of processes to the shared segment of code or shared resources. So here the first one is Peterson's solution for two concurrent processes. So let us look how we implemented GUI in it. So here you can see shared variables part here, that there will be a variable of n will have value of 2, as Peterson solution is for 2 method only. Here true and false as usual, and here there will be one array. So status, it will show the status of process, that process is interested to use shared variable or not. So and last is integer turn variable, which will allocate turn to the process. Here entry section code and critical section and exit section. In entry section there will be integer other variable will be defined, other equal to 1 minus process. So process and other variable will have values of 0 or 1, and here interested process equal to true. So the process which will run this entry section will have its interest value equal to true, means 1. Here exit section. So in the exit section, when process will run this exit section, it will false the value of its interest, which the variable which shows the interest of that process. And here critical section is usual, that code that may create inconsistency in shared variable values if concurrent access to this code happens. Here we are showing GUI implementation. So we have implemented for two modes, either preemptive or non-preemptive, and we will allow user to add process 1 or process 2 which will be in execution first. So here I am showing for non-preemption, then process 1 will execute the first, and here current execution status will be shown, and you can see right here. So in entry section, whatever the variables were there, those values will be changed here, as you can see. As it is for non-preemption, so P2 will not preempt the process P1 and it will fluently complete its process. So here P1 is completing his process, now P2 is being started. So you can see process in execution is process 2 now, and process in wait mode, as it is non-preemption mode, so there will not be any process which will be in wait mode, you can see. Now P2 is entering in exit section, and hence both the process will complete their execution. And so here you can see no one is in execution mode. So here in Peterson algorithm, I am showing for preemptive mode, and I am giving first access to process 2, and I am starting the GUI implementation here. Here current execution status will be there, as process 2 is being started. Process in execution will be process 2, and in wait mode, as of now there is no process. Now P1 has preempted the process 2, and now you can see the process in execution was 1, and P1 is entering in critical section, but there will not be any change in variable values, as critical section doesn't contain any variable values. As you here for some time P2 were in wait mode. So now as P1 will change its interest to a variable value, so P2 will be able to enter the critical section. So P2 is entering in critical section, and and in exit section it will change the values false. So here interest of both the processes is false, and there is no process in execution mode or in wait mode. So completion queue is full by process P1 and P2. So it was our Peterson algorithm, and now we are heading to producer consumer solution using weighted awake. So here we have shown the algorithm that producer and consumer were following. So here you can see that in maximum slotting buffer will be shown by the variable n. So in code here we have shown it 100, and defined count means items in the buffer will be shown by the pointer variable count. So for the initial state count variable value will be 0. And here you can see that when producer will come into execution, it will run this code. So item equal to produce item means that produce item, so item will be produced, or you can say that producer will enter the item to the buffer. So when it will enter when the item will be entered by producer to the buffer, when the buffer has available space in it. So if count equal to n and buffer is full, producer will go into sleep mode. As you can see that here we are showing that producer consumer solution using wait and awake. So wait means sleep, so it will go into sleep mode. Else if it was not the case, then producer will insert item to the buffer and it will increase the count value. And if count equal to 1, it means that consumer has something to read, then producer will wake up the consumer. And same here we have shown the code for the consumer that consumer will follow during its execution. So if count equal to 0, it means that consumer has nothing to read, then it will go into sleep and wait for producer to write something in buffer. Else if it is not the case and buffer has something, then consumer will read and will decrease the count value. So I will start the GUI implementation now, and I am setting the size of buffer as 5, and I am setting the mode type as non-preemptive and starting the implementation. So here you can see the which is the executor and what action done by executor will be shown here. And you can see that producer is writing in buffer array and counter value is there. So as it is non-preemptive method, so there will not be any preemption and algorithm will run fluently, and there will not be any counter value either except 0 and 1. So here, so all the five items were written by producer and all the 5 items were read by consumer. So now I will show the preemptive mode, and I am setting the size of buffer again as 5 and mode type as preemptive, and I am starting the implementation now. As a preemption, so here consumer will execute the code first, but as counter value was 0, it will be in it will go into sleep mode, and it will not be wake up by producer as the count value will be continuously increased by the producer, and when the consumer will come into execution, it will again go into the sleep mode. So it was all about preemptive mode in producer consumer using wake and sleep. So here we have shown the problem which was coming in producer consumer algorithm using this wake and sleep method. So now we will go into simplest synchronization mechanism. So here you can add the number of processes to be executed. Here I am adding for the 5 processes. So, and you can see that here that is precedence table, that you can give the precedence here. So I am giving the 1, 3, 2, 4 and 5, and initial lock variable value should be 0 here, and I am running I will run it for the non-preemptive mode. So here it is showing about the preemption, and here the live statements will be printed that what is happening. So you can see here P3 is being executed, P3, now P2. So it is happening according to the precedence given by us. So P4, and last precedence was given by to the P5 process. So P5 will come at last and P5 will complete its execution. So you can see that all processes finish their execution. Critical section is free now. And now I will show for preemptive mode. Again I am entering 5 processes here, and I will give random precedence here, and yes, 1 2 4 and 5, and initial lock variable value will be 0. And for preemptive mode I am starting the implementation right here. So P1 is being executed, critical section is free, but as they will not enter the critical section, as they will be preempted after they execute the statement 2. So now P1 is again came into execution, it will go into critical section and out. Then P3 came, critical section is free now, P2 is entering, now critical section is free, now P4 again entering as, and at last P5 will come into execution. And yes, all processes finish their execution and critical section is free. So it was about simplest synchronization mechanism, and now we will go for the counting semaphore. So here we have shown some code for like to show the what will be the code for to show the structure of semaphore. So you can see here integer value variable, so it will show the semaphore value, and queue, so which process will be in waiting queue, and down semaphore code that will decrease the semaphore value, and here PCB in queue L, so it means if semaphore value is negative, so that process will be in sleep mode. And same for up semaphore, so you can see here. And now I am heading to the implementation. As we know that initial semaphore value can't be negative, but if in case it is written negative, so what will happen, we will show here that. So for first preemptive I am showing, and number of processes I here for the ease we will take the number of processes as 2 only, and initial semaphore value I am taking as -3, and I am giving the precedence to the processes by the precedence table. So P1 will be 2 and P2 will be 1. So I am starting the GUI implementation here. So semaphore value was given -3 and P1. So here no process will be able to access the critical section as semaphore value is negative, and there is no such possibility to have the semaphore value as positive. And you can see here we are following the code that P1 will follow this code and P2 will follow this code, and we are as while true that it will continuous loop, that P1 and P2 will come into execution. And here live statements are printed, that you can see here. Up semaphore P1, it will execute in loop as they are following this code, and here it is while true loop. So, and here you can see executor was process 1, wake up process, that it will from waiting queue it went to the PS means down semaphore, and VS means up semaphore. Here we have shown that. So it was it. And now I am for same preemptive method, we will show the semaphore value as positive here, and we will give the precedence first here, P1 as 2 and P2 1, and I am starting the implementation. So semaphore value was 3 given by us, so P2 has incremented the value, P1 is decremented the value, and P2 checked the semaphore value, came into critical section, went to PS, decremented the value, and P2 again went into its completion mode. So here P1 is completed, and now again as it is while true, so P2 and P1 will be executed in loop mode. So as of now there is no process in waiting queue, and there is no process in such scenario that semaphore value is positive, so no process will be in waiting queue. As you can see here. Now we will show the situation for non-preemption, and we will set the initial semaphore as 2, and I am giving the precedence now. P1 as 2 and P2 is 1. Now I'm starting the execution. So P2 in execution mode, executing up semaphore, now entering critical section, going into down semaphore, and it will complete its execution. Deadlock is not possible here, you can see. So P1 is there, now it is in critical section, now in VS, and it will complete it. So there is no deadlock as such, and it will be executed in loop as they are following this code, as you can see. Now for the non-preemption we will show for the negative value to 1. We know that semaphore value will not have the negative value, but what if initial semaphore value is given as -3 or negative? We want to show the problem here, that what will happen to the processes. So P2, yes. Okay, so P2 checked and semaphore value was not less than or equal to 0. So sorry, value was less than or equal to 0. So P2 went into queue, waiting queue. So again wake up and sleep mode will be run here, but there will not be any process that will go into critical section, that because there is no possibility of semaphore value to have the positive number here. So it was it about counting semaphore. Now we are heading to the Banker's algorithm. I will show the implementation. So here you can add the number of processes. I am adding 3 processes here, and total system resources that system will allocate to the process. So I am adding, there are 3 resources as such, R0, R1 and R2. I have added the resources available here. So currently allocated resources to the processes P0, P1 and P2 I will add here. And now I will add the maximum resources needed for the processes to be executed. And I am starting the implementation now, that in which state our input will lead us. So I am here starting. So available system resources are here, needed resources, and you can see the execution of processes, that in how many iterations the process is executed. So here the system has run the 5 iteration, and still it will lead us to the unsafe state, that resources were not available, or resources can't be allocated as we wanted them to be allocated. So here you can see the iteration 3 and 4 and 5 here. So it was our Banker's algorithm, and I have presented all the 5 algorithms here, and I want to thank you for letting us present our project here. Thank you so much.